I started my run this morning listening to Patsy Cline, the old song, I fall to pieces. And just as I stepped out here onto my trail that I run off the roads, Johnny Cash singing, I shall not be moved. Like a tree that's planted by the water, I shall not be moved. I shall not be moved. And I think about the difference in that in our lives. You know, there are some of us who we go through life and that's our life exactly. I mean, I fall to pieces. And it doesn't take much. Broken relationship, broken finances, broken health, and I fall to pieces. Sometimes just a look across the room and I fall to pieces. But I think to have a faith that says, I shall not be moved. Like a tree that's planted by the water. I love the view of the mountains out there this time of the year. I always think of the psalmist who said, I lift my eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help is in the Lord who created heaven and earth. And I've got the mountains that are snow-capped this way and that way. I've got Saddleback behind me over here. And I think to myself, I shall not be moved. Are there times when I feel like I'm falling to pieces? You bet. Are there times when it seems like everything's just coming apart? Absolutely. But so often I go back to old memories. I think about these fields. A friend of mine, his name was Dale. He used to do a lot of the plowing on the fields around town here. The city and the county requires him to do it, to make sure it's weed abatement, it's called. And if you don't get that weed abatement taken care of, they'll send someone out to do it. Dale used to hold some of those contracts. He was a sweet man. He used to come to our Saturday night service. I miss Dale and Carol. I did both their funerals. Wonderful, wonderful people with wonderful family they shared with us. And the kind of family that you can count on going on forever. I was out on the Maasai, a place that Dale would have absolutely loved. He used to be head of 4-H at the local high school here. And people always think of Kenya and the Maasai Mara for the animals, but really you get there and you realize it's a people, and you fall in love with the Maasai, for example. And I'd been out there was a huge storm raging. I mean, a storm like you could only imagine across the Maasai Mara. And the reason they call it a Mara, that means spotted, because of the clouds. And when you look out across the Mara, the clouds in the sky, and then you see how the ground can be dappled from the shadow of the clouds, it's really a beautiful thing, except when the clouds all come together, and then it's not shadows at all, and it's not spotted at all. It was just raging storm, raging rain. And we were out in the middle of it all. And I was preaching at a little church that had just started out there. They'd just gotten the elders' approval to be out there, and they had to get my approval to come out there and preach. I showed the Jesus video in Maasai, which is a wonderful thing to see these people, many of them who are seeing their very first movie. We showed it with a generator out in the middle of nothing, out inside their church with a portable screen, our portable sound system, our portable projector, everything we carried with us. And then I had a copy of it that had been translated into Maasai with Jesus speaking their language. Really incredible to watch everyone in the room. And then I spoke, and so many people had questions and wanted to make decisions for Jesus. And then afterwards, I told them this. I said, I don't know if we'll ever see each other again. And there were, no, around the room, as my translator said, I don't know if I'll ever see you again. There's such a community bond amongst the Maasai. They say we have very long memories for 1,000 years. They said, but I want you to know that for so many of you, we'll be together again in heaven, where the tribe will be one. And I realized that I had a great security of friends around the world, friends all the way to the kingdom of God, where Dale and Carol and so many of my friends and family are waiting, friends all the way across to Kenya, where the Maasai out there in the middle of that stormy day heard about Jesus and made decisions to follow Jesus, friends down to Tijuana, where so many children have grown up and the orphanage and the church has been built, friends on the streets of Los Angeles, where we have the opportunity to enter into the darkness, and friends here in Riverside that have undergirded and supported our work and joined with it across the decades. And I thought, I'm not going to fall to pieces. I love the old song, I fall to pieces, but I shall not be moved. Like a tree that's planted by the water, I shall not be moved. Hey, if you want to step away from mediocrity today, if you want to step into a miraculous life, a life that will blow your mind and give you a future and a hope and a family beyond anything that you imagine today, come with me to Christmas. Come with me to hear the story again about Jesus, born in poverty, rejected by humanity, cast out into Egypt like his patriarchs before him, and then returned to save us all, and returning again. I don't understand all the great complexities of theology that smart theologians do, but I have a confidence that I shall not be moved. It's the greatest miracle in my life. It's the miracle that I'd like to invite you to, and away from mediocrity today, to be the miracle that will change your life. Like a tree planted by the water, you don't have to be moved. You can be secure when the world is falling to pieces and you're getting angry and unhappy. You shall not be moved. I shall not be moved. You can be the miracle. Hey, come with me to Christmas this year. Come with me into the excitement that we're sharing. Come away from the mediocrity that sucks us in like a vacuum and pulls us down like mud and quicksand, and step in to the miracle. Like a tree planted by the water, we shall not be moved. Let's be the miracle together. Have a fantastic day. That's where I'm going to do.